looks like I became more playful. Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time on the channel, hit subscribe right now. For over 2 decades, THY CATAFALQUE is synonymous to beautiful, avant-garde, progressive, rooted in black metal music that on every release just completely blows my mind. The new album is coming out soon and I had the privilege of doing Tamas's first English-speaking interview.
Thank you so much for spending your time here with me today. But we've heard a few songs already. In fact, when we're recording this is yesterday a video was released. Does the excitement of a new launch, is that still something that really pumps you up, or you've had so much experience now and you've gone through so many of these release cycles that it's something that doesn't really excite you and you prefer to stay away from it?
No, it's always a kind of excitement because this is the first time they are hearing the stuff, so they are reacting, and it's always exciting. Yeah, but yeah, it has happened many times, but it's a big thing. But however, I was working when the launch was starting, so I couldn't really focus on that, only some hours later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is, to your point, it has happened before. This is your 10th album in roughly 20 years. 5 of those in the last 6 years. Where does all your creativity come from? Like, this just doesn't seem to stop. I know that you're not a big fan of the term musical genius, but people like to use it when they describe your music, and I'll come back to that in a second. But how has this rush of creativity hasn't seemed to stop in the last 10 years? What's the explanation for that?
Well, I think I have time for this. I mean, I don't really do anything else. I mean, I work and then I do music because I didn't have to care about live gigs or rehearsals. I didn't have a band, so whenever it's music, I was just writing music and recording. So it's relatively, I think it's faster than the average band cycles because we don't do gigs.
If I have to describe your music to somebody that doesn't know it yet, the reason why I would call you a musical genius is because I feel like better than anybody else, you create music that at the same time calms me down, but also gives me extreme anxiety at times. And it's music that I find both extremely beautiful, but also very scary at the same time. And it all comes together, so balanced. Do you agree with that description, or is...
It's something you have to know, because of course I have a different perspective on it.
Yeah.
Because I wrote it and I know every second of it because I have listened to it like 1,000 times. For example, the last album, like last year, I was just listening to it and writing it. So I do have a different perspective on that. If you feel like that, I guess it's exciting.
Yeah. So yesterday the video for and I will obviously mispronounce the name of the new song.
Okay.
Szarvas or something along those lines.
Almost there. It's Szarvas.
Szarvas. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday that video was dropped. In that new song and also in what we've heard so far, there's a sense of melancholia there, which is not a new theme, I would say, to your music. But compared to some of your other albums, I find there seems to be a heightened level of anxiety. I know that you've already shared that some of the themes are, every living being trying to escape, fatality or having to come to terms with that is impossible. Given that as a world we've been living with the pandemic now for a year, that I think everybody has been faced with these kinds of existential questions and even more mental health issues than ever before. Is that something that has that increased those themes in your music today?
Yes, probably they did, but I didn't decide to write about it. It's just indirect effect, I think, on the music itself. So because it affects everyone, we cannot really get away from this wherever you are in the world. So I'm sure that it has its mark on the music as well. And because of this, probably the new album is a bit darker than the previous one was.
To some extent, in contrast to some of those darker themes, you've paired your musical art with beautiful visual art as well in the music videos that have already been released now. There is that sense of trying to, your people are on a journey, people are, moving forward. A lot of emphasis on nature, a lot of sense on, they're there for such at times deep and dark music. The visuals are very vibrant, are very colorful. Nature and that wanderlust are clearly important to you as well. We've seen some similar videos in the past as well. Can we expect more of that? What were some of the themes that you really wanted to highlight with this nature imagery?
Well, I think it's getting a bit much. I mean, last 1, 2, 3, probably 4 videos are all like forest and nature and just girls running, guys walking, another girls is running, and it's getting a bit repetitive. So yeah, I don't know why it happened like that. It wasn't conscious, I think, but it happened like this. So if I plan to do a next one, but it's going to be placed in a city. It was very nice and it's cool, but you don't have to overdo it because then it loses the impact. So
Right.
we need to change, and this is I think it's going for the music as well. This is why I always try to try new things, because it's getting boring after a while, and
Yeah.
we have to do it for the videos as well.
Actually, one thing that in the previous video for, and I'm going to try this one more time, Piros-sárga, something,
Oh, yeah.
that starts with some spoken word that creates a bit of an eerie vibe.
Ismételd el a magnó után a következő érdekes versikét.
Can you share what is being said and where that comes from?
I know where it is coming from. It's from a tape, from an old tape. I have used many audio clips from this old tape since Rókos Radio. That was the album from 2009, and I found this tape. It's a Russian language tape for students from 1984, and there are other audio clips from this tape, even on the new album, besides the Piros-sárga song. And no, it's just a funny little sentence. It's about, like, I don't even remember what she's saying there. Something like, okay, just try to learn this little poem. This is what she's saying.
Okay.
So it's really just a cheeky thing. It's not nothing serious there.
Okay, a bit of an encouragement to the listener, subconsciously.
Yeah. I think it's more like cheeky. It's not something very serious.
You work on this new album with a lot of guests. There's a lot of people involved. Obviously, we see Martina return, who's been on the last few albums of you as a singer. You know, she's got that almost like a magical folky voice with a bit of a sharpness to it that just seems to fit your music really well. I assume that we'll continue to see her appear on releases in the future. Are there any people that that you work with for this album that really blew you away, that really surprised you, and that you will definitely have back in the future?
I don't know who's going to be back, you know, because these songs needed, like, I wrote one song and I thought probably this would be good for this person to sing it, and that was very like ad hoc, like this is what I think they would fit, and those are people who I know. So like there are some guest musicians, especially I'm talking about vocalists, because other musicians I don't really know them, and it was a different story. But I think vocalists are very important because they all have to be Hungarian, of course, because of the lyrics, and they are friends of mine. So it was great to work with them. Like it was Gábor Veres from Watch My Dying. That is a Hungarian band, of course, and András Vörös, who was from Super, but some Ördög band, and Gábor Tudás from Reason. They were providing vocals from clean vocals, or Gábor did some harsh vocals as well. So and they are friends of mine, and I really like what they do anyway. So this is why I'm in good relationship with them, and I really respect their musical background, and we've been knowing each other for like 20 years with András and Gábor. So it's great to have them here.
A question that I wanted to ask you is, if you look back at these 20 years and the evolution that you've made, you know, your roots lie in black metal. There's been a lot of examples of black metal bands or artists from a black metal band that over time really just, you know, go for their own thing, start to experiment and turn to, in you know, with lack of a better term, to avant-garde metal. What do you think is the reason for that we see that evolution happen, maybe more with black metal artists than with any other you know, sub-genre within
I think it's because basically black metal is a very creative genre, and it's a very free genre. So I think it's for people who really try to do something different, and who really don't really mind about anything else. So they do whatever they want to, and the evolution is obvious that after a while you just try to do more things and try to find out what else can be done. And I think in black metal it's a good soil for that. And many other genres, like, I don't know, traditional heavy metal is not like this, because the limits are set, and you cannot really...
Yeah, there's formulas.
In the beginnings, you know, we wanted to play black metal. First album, second album, it was black metal. It was a bit weird, but still. And then it became more left field after a while, more and more left field, and then now we reached the point where it's just really just hardly black metal at all. But still there are some black metal elements, and probably they always will be there because that's my roots, and I really love that style. It comes with age, you know, because we are not like the same people as 20 years ago. I'm 45 years old, so of course I'm a different person to what I was at the age of 25.
For sure.
This is the way I change. Probably if I would change differently, then the music would be different as well. But it looks like I became more playful. Yeah.
I know that a lot of us will be hoping that in, you know, again, just a year from now, we might already have the next album, which seems to be the pace that you've set for yourself in the last few years. But Tamás, I want to thank you so much for your time today. Personally, since I've discovered the band about 6 years ago, or the project 6 years ago, I've been a big fan, and I think the first few videos that came out were spectacular. So I really want to thank you on a personal level as well for creating this beautiful music, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.